guys, welcome back to LNB, and this is lecture 5 of Docker, and here we are going to talk about Docker architecture. Okay, but make sure you have Docker desktop or any other environment pre-installed to get the practicals done. Okay, before moving ahead, let's discuss or just have a glimpse what we have done in the past section. Okay, so in lecture 4 we talked about how you can install Docker by using Docker desktop or in the next box, or if you don't have that one, you can use Kata Coda platform. Okay, so in this lecture we'll be talking about these major things. Okay, so let's say uh, before using Docker in any environment like production or non-production environment, you have to understand Docker architecture in really deep dive manner. Okay, so I'm having this architecture diagram. Here you can understand there are three different components. Okay, Docker host, Docker client, and registry. To get it more, I want to draw this diagram for you. So for example, let's say I told you in the last lecture that when you install Docker by using any method like Docker desktop or something, so ideally my Docker is running on a Linux box or Linux machine, and I need to have one client machine to connect to my Docker machine. So this is my let's say Linux host, and here my Docker community edition got installed. Okay, and this machine is gonna be have like client machine can have your Linux machine, your Windows machine, or your Mac machine as well. It doesn't matter which operating system you have in the client. Okay, so before understanding architecture, I need to understand components. Okay, so the first component when you install Docker, in your case, that will be here a kind of Docker engine. Okay, so the first component when you install Docker, you get the component like Docker engine and a client side. So Docker client is going to send a request to Docker engine for whatever you want to do. Okay, let's say you want to create container, you want to list container, manage container, any kind of management that you want to do, that you have to send a request from this machine. Okay, so if you install Docker by using Docker desktop, what is going to happen automatically? Let's say I have my MacBook, and in my MacBook I install Docker by using Docker desktop. So it's going to launch one Linux VM like that, and it will automatically configure my MacBook as client. Okay, so if I open my terminal like this one, and in my terminal I can type Docker. This command is a client. Okay, and this is going to connect to my Docker engine running in my virtual machine. So if I do Docker version, you can see here I have two things: client, and that is having Darwin. Darwin is a kernel of Mac that you can check by uname command, and my engine is running on the next machine. So you have to have a client, that is your Docker command line, and you are going to send a request to engine. So what kind of request? Like I send a request by Docker version. If I want to see how many containers I have running, I can do Docker ps. Don't worry about what is this, but these are all kind of requests that we can send. Okay, I can check how many images we have. We're going to talk about those images also, but this is a kind of request we are sending to Docker engine, and Docker engine is giving response on behalf of that. Okay, so architectural approach is saying you can have a client machine where you can send a request like build, pull, and run, and the request will be received by the host. Host means where your Docker is running. We call it Docker daemon, and there will be on that machine containers and images will be there. Okay, there is third component in this architecture, that is registry. Okay, so first of all, make sure you are clear with two things. One is client, another is host. Host means the machine where Docker engine is running. Okay, now if you want to create container uh, by using Docker engine, so what is the first need? Let's say I want to create a container of my, or what I say, Java program. Okay, I want to create container of my Java program, or maybe I want to create container of my Python program. So I can say Python container, Java container, MySQL container. These will be tiny containers that I want to create. So to create container, what we need is, we need Docker images. Okay, what we need Docker images, like Docker images. So let's say I have Docker image, and by using this Docker image, container will be created. But the point is, from where we get the Docker images? Okay, so that's why this Docker registry is there. Registry is a place where your images will be stored. Okay, if you're a little confused, maybe sometimes not able to understand the concept, so I can give you the reference. Let's say you have your laptop or OS where you have Windows 10, and here you have installed let's say VMware, okay, as a hypervisor. If you want to install already one virtual machine, what you need is, you need some operating system image, OS image, and that image you will be using to create this virtual machine. Likewise, if you have here Docker engine running and you want to create container, to create this container we need Docker image. So Docker image will be having that minimum data. By using that you can create container, and then you can put your program like Python, Java, MySQL, and many more. I'm gonna give you that idea of one of the most popular registry by Docker itself, that is Docker Hub. Okay, so this is your registry where you can search for Docker images like Java. See, I search for Java, so I'll get that Java list of images. Any technology you want to understand. Let's say you want image for MySQL, so MySQL. These are the images. If you don't want to search from this web UI, you can go in your command line and you can search like Docker search, let's say Java. So you hit enter, and it is going to connect to Docker Hub, I mean this website by default. And the reason is because we are using Docker product, so Docker is going to connect with its own option. So this is Java image name. Don't worry about what is this written in bigger way. The only thing is, this is your name of image and these are description, these are some stars. Okay, so I can search for, let's say I can search for Python based Docker image. What I mean when I search Python, that means I'm looking for the images on Docker Hub that have Python support. So I get this like so many images like Python, Django, and many more things. Okay, if you have account on Docker Hub, you can search by your user account as well. I have account Docker Hub, so I can search like this. And if you're also a community member and contributor in the community of Docker, you can search by your own community username as well. Okay, so these are some images that I created and uploaded. What if you want to download some image? So first of all, I can see, do I have any images? No, I don't have. How do I download? Go back to this one. There's an instruction called pull. So pull is going to send to the Docker engine, and Docker engine will be connecting to Docker Hub, and then it will be downloading that images. So I can use pull. Let's say I want to download image of for example Java. Okay, I don't know the image size right now, but whatever it will be, so it is now sending to Docker engine that is running here, and Docker engine is connecting to Docker Hub, and Docker Hub is giving that image, and it will be getting stored on the engine side. Do not get confused. It will be not stored on the client side, it will be stored on the engine side. Okay, so just waiting, and when the image download will be done, you can see the image by just doing Docker images. I'm making this video fast forward here because the image downloading time may be big, or maybe I can go in another terminal and download one tiny image, like let's say Alpine. Alpine is a very tiny Linux based operating system. So I'm gonna send a request to pull Alpine image, and it's very tiny, very tiny. See, I can see by Docker images, I have this one. Although the Java pulling is going on because it will be a long image. And if you want more tiny image for your practice purpose, you can download busy box like this. So this busy box is getting downloaded very quickly, and even it's more tinier than Alpine. If I can check images, so these images are stored on the Docker engine side, not in my machine. Okay, here. And about Java, still it is getting, taking a lot of time. I don't know what is going on, but depending on your internet speed, this is okay. So if I do Docker images, yes, around 643 MB size. Okay, so as per this lecture, we have learned some architectural point of view, containers, images, and Docker Hub. Okay, so container we need to create from the image, so that will be doing in next lecture. Okay, thank you so much and see you again.